Hey everyone, welcome to Two Guys Making Tribe, where Gen X meets Gen Y. Enjoy the show.
Again, I'll toss it to both of you guys. You guys have properties here. What is growing on the property or in the neighborhood and is also hiding in plain sight?
Oh, that is your department, my friend.
Brendan's pretty good at foraging.
Which one? Let me read that one again.
All right, let's see here.
All right, so there's a lot in Florida
Oh yeah.
for both wild edibles, wild medicines. I can think of three or four off the top of my head. The most probably easy identifiable edible would probably be blackberries. They grow all over Florida.
Everywhere.
They grow in our ditches. I've got them all over my property. Yeah, they're everywhere. During the springtime, you can pull over on the side of the road and pluck blackberries out of a ditch just fine. Um, Next one for edibles would be muscadines, the wild grapes. Those don't produce as much. I think with the wild blackberries, it's like 50% of the plants produce. With the muscadines, it's only like 10%. But if you do find some that are producing, it's good to have a mental note of it in your head. And then for like the wild medicines, castor. Castor grows everywhere in Florida, and nobody can identify it. It grows in every ditch of every city in Florida. You can make oils for your skin, oils for your hair. You can make a natural painkiller out of it. Um, it's been used to make ricin and other poisons that, everyone hears ricin and immediately thinks, oh, you're going to assassinate somebody. Tribes for thousands of years use it to catch fish.
Right.
They beat the water with it, they make a pulp out of it, throw it on the water, it paralyzes the fish swim up, get them with a net, stuff of that nature. Usnea, it's a lichen that grows on dead hardwoods. It's antiseptic, antibacterial, antiviral. That stuff grows everywhere, all over Florida again. All of those things. We have such an abundance in Florida. I get people laugh at me from up north. It's like, oh, you guys got no game down there. Your deer are 120 pounds. And it's like, yeah, but we have plants that I can eat year round, where you guys have plants 4 months out of the year
Mhm.
because snow's on the ground the rest of the year
Yeah.
or it's died off from a frost.
Or
You
go
know,
into the river
yeah,
and grab all the plants that Angry Americans talking about.
yeah.
You know,
It's
uh,
one of those things that you can, if you had a plant ID book and a rifle, you should never be able to starve in Florida.
Yeah. I mean, we have so much small game. Yeah, we don't have the huge elk and things like that, but between the hog, the coyote, the gators, just those three things on the larger side.
Yeah, and
That
things people don't think of. We have quail and
yeah,
dove everywhere, and people don't think about
yeah.
like the
Quail,
little
dove,
mourning
duck,
doves, everywhere.
crane, sandhill crane.
Ribeye in the sky.
Yeah, oh, I love it. It's so good. Hey, no, shit, it's the fan. It's not going to be illegal here anymore.
right.
You know.
Everyone stops their car now for them. They'll be hitting them with the car once the balloon goes up.
Run them down.
Well, since I don't really grow anything, I don't know much, but I thought about, well, how could you hide something in plain sight? And I thought about, well, you're always growing sweet potatoes and regular potatoes, they're the root crops,
Yeah.
basically. So if it's in the ground, so for your average person, they walk onto a property, they don't know their head from their tail.
Yep. They see. You
Okay?
grow
I started
potatoes,
using them as a ground
onions,
cover.
carrots.
I plant them randomly all over the yard. They grow as a ground cover. I just walk over the leaves like nothing. It doesn't bother the plant. And either at 120 days, I tear up the tubers, take the tubers, throw the greens to my animals. Or if you don't feel like tearing it up, leave them in the ground. They'll self sow. And that way, in 2, 5, 10 years, when I really got to dig into them, yeah, I might have a giant 10-pound tuber that's made out of solid wood, but they're self-seeding into the
Yeah.
ground.
Right.
You know? So
I mean, and I think, especially somebody that gets a property and they don't know what to do with it, and they want to experiment. I mean, potatoes are a pretty good staple. They grow pretty easy. Um, Maybe they just go and put seeds everywhere in the back end of their property if they're not doing anything with it to see what you can grow. I mean, that's the thing with gardening. You got to invest some time and knowledge
Yeah.
into it, and you got to fail a lot based on what my friends have told me because I don't garden. And it's one of those skills that there's a learning curve to it. And depending on the region, just in Florida's such a big geographic state. There are so many different zones of what you can grow and what you can't. And it's surprising to me in this day and age that we haven't genetically spliced every fruit we're importing from South America to grow in Florida. It's probably doable.
Yeah, a lot of the thing with that, it's not that. It simply has to do with the season. We grow strawberries here, of course. We got the strawberry festival, but there's times of the year where we don't grow them here, but they grow them in other parts of the world, so we get them, shipped in. The store that I work at, I get the stuff all the time, and like produce stuff that we grow here. But that's the thing, when the shit hits the fan, people are going to have to get used to the fact of, even if it hits the fan to the point to where it's not total, like Mad Max. Let's just say it's conventional World War III and the ships are no longer bringing stuff, right? But we still have an economy going here. It's a shitty economy, but it's an economy going here. You're going to have to get used to here only getting certain fruits and vegetables at certain times of the year, not year round. Because we get it year round now because we get it from other parts of the world when it can't grow here, but it's growing in other places. So be it strawberries, be it corn, be it whatever it is, you're going to have to go back to the old ways of, no, unless you are storing it and canning it, you don't eat X at this time of the year because it's simply not here.
that's why I like the sweet potatoes and
Yeah.
the tubers. So if you look historically, all over the world, successful tribes are usually formulated around some form of staple crop
Right.
that stores really well. In Asia, they had rice.
Right.
Rice grows a lot here in Florida, down south.
Yeah, down south.
In Central America, they had corn. Everything was centralized around corn. Both of those are grains. You can dry them out. The Israelites had wheat. You can dry all that stuff out and it lasts for months. Potatoes, sweet potatoes, things that you could dry out and it last over a year, last over winter, last from each rotation of growing. So I tell everybody, if you're going to grow on a decent scale, or any scale really, have something that has a good storage life.
Right.
If you grow tomatoes and that's all you grow, that's great. Tomatoes are awesome. You can make salsa with them. You can make, anything. You can make a number of things with it. It sits on your counter in 2 weeks. It's gone. It's rotten if you ain't ate it. I can pull 5-gallon buckets of potatoes out of the ground, throw them on my island, dust the dirt off of them, let them sit out and dry out for 2 weeks, throw them in a sack in my pantry. They'll last for a year.
I hope you enjoyed this episode. Please remember to like and subscribe and share with your friends. We will see you next time.